So this is where I am today. Chickahominy River. This is a part of the James River, which is where this tournament is this week. Look at that guy. Where you going, Scotty Squirrel? Let's see if he'll come to me. Come here, buddy. Hey, come here. Come here. I got some nuts for you. Come here, man. I got some nuts. Hey, come back here, dog. Or squirrel. Where'd he go? Hey. You think he's looking at me? Hey. Oh, that's really close. Holy smokes, that's close. Let me back that out. You can see all the sleep in my eye. So we're at the Chickahominy River here in Virginia. We're gonna start the pro circuit, Major League Fishing pro circuit. This is like the 5th tournament we've had this year. You know, been, I guess, pretty decent, semi-okay year. Had a couple good ones, had a couple not good ones. And just looking kind of follow up on that at this tournament. It's gonna be like a lot of fish are gonna be caught here, I can tell you that. I'm gonna catch me some fish. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna catch me some fish. I'm not sure what everybody else is doing or gonna do, but I'm kind of looking forward to the event. It's I didn't really I didn't do any filming this tournament for the tournament, you know, like fishing. Sorry. So all you getting for practice video is like our off day shenanigans when me and Christian hang out, tell jokes, go get Cam, and all the things that go on. A lot of stuff goes on our off day. It's really not an off day. It actually ends up being one of the busiest days of the week. So I decided to park my truck over here in the shade so I can do some tackle. Look at our house this week. So, you know, normally that's our house right there. Can you see that? That deal is where we're staying at. Usually we rent a house. There's not that many houses here, so we decided to rent an RV. It's been okay. It could be cleaner. Listen, we need to talk about something. If you have a Airbnb, when you rent out these places, make sure you clean them. I don't know what's going on post-pandemic. You know, we blame everything on the pandemic, right? I've had about a 3-house stretch of houses that are not clean. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Y'all know how I usually keep my boat nice and organized, right? Let's look in here. Hey, this is woo. That's good. This is gonna be my job today. I know I'm about to get a bunch of hate in the comments. Listen, Larry, I'm out here trying to catch a fish. I don't have time to put everything back in this little tray or cubby. So it's gonna end up looking like this sometime. So normally I would be rigging the actual rods today, right? During tackle day. This is what I'm doing. Let me turn the camera around so you can see. Right now, all that stuff, and all of these boxes right here, every last one of them. Believe it or not, I'm taking all those boxes out of the boat. I'm taking as much junk out of my boat as possible because we're in the James River. It's a tidal fishery. It's very likely you might get stuck. I gotta make long runs. I wanna be able to get up and move quickly. So I'm trying to make my boat as light as possible. I'm never gonna use a lot of this stuff. Like some of this, let me show it to you. So this is like miscellaneous lipless, rock crawlers, more crank. I don't know why that sticker's on there. I think my little boy put that on there. Some more crankbaits that dive too deep. All of these are crankbaits. Some soft plastics that I'm never going to use at the James River. I need that line maybe. Yeah, there's some diamond fluorocarbon. 15-pound, yeah, I probably need to keep that. All the stuff I need is in these two, like this little thing, right? And this is too much. I'm really only gonna use like 2 things out of here, but just in case I got some other stuff, you know. You know, honestly, figuring out what you need and what you don't need is the easy part. Now figuring out where I'm gonna put all this stuff that I just took out of my boat, I have no idea, because the back of my truck is absolutely slap full. Only thing I think I can maybe put it on the inside. You ever notice, some of you guys may or may not, you ever put fishing tackle in your truck and then you go back in your truck on a hot day and it smells like a horse bin, horse stable, or wherever you put horses at? Before we came to this event, I like river fishing. Like, I love it a lot. I didn't film before I came here, but there's like 3 or 4 baits that I found out that work every single time we go to a river. So I just spent 2 days at home just fishing the river, kind of getting accustomed to, one, the heat. I got 2 weeks in a row of this. Literally like probably 14 days of fishing that I'm ahead of me. So I wanted to condition myself to the heat. I knew that these were going to be 2 weeks of 90 degrees or above weather. So I fished at home. The 2 baits that I like to use when I come to a river, there's actually 3. It's probably 3 baits. One's throwing a spinner bait. They're going, like, you're gonna catch them on the river when you throw a spinner bait. And then there's chatterbait, and then also like flipping some type of soft plastic or something. But I got a new tool I want to show you from Z-Man that I think's pretty cool. Let's go over here. Let's go look at it. Look at that. I know that probably looks like a regular. I'm gonna tell you all about this guy right here. Just give me a second. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about this little morsel of loveliness right here. This little guy right here is called the new Chatterbait Mini-Max. And so I guess with nothing to compare it to, it probably looks exactly like the normal chatterbait that you're used to fishing, but it's not. Everything is like compact down to a smaller size. The blade is a little smaller, the weight sizes are a little smaller, and the traditional chatterbait, the smallest you can get is a 3/8. But this comes in like a quarter, comes in a 3/8, a quarter, and maybe there's one more size, maybe an 1/8, I'm not really sure, okay? It's got a smaller hook, which I like, I'm gonna tell you about in a minute. It's got a hand-tied skirt. You know, if you're into hand-tied skirts, that's great, but you know, you got one here. Personally, I like the rubber band skirts. I'll talk to you about that later. But it looks like the normal one. But look, I'm gonna show you, here's it right beside a jackhammer. You see how much bigger the jackhammer is? This is the smallest jackhammer you can use right here. This is a 3/8 ounce jackhammer. See the difference in the size of the blade? See the difference inside the head and just the skirt size. And you got a really big hook in the jackhammer. Look at the hook on that one compared to that. Now, a lot of people like a big hook on a chatterbait. Dude, I'm not really that crazy about big hooks. I always felt like the jackhammer could have had a smaller hook on it. And this is the reason why. I feel like the big gap in the hook just gives the fish leverage to get off. That's my personal opinion. Secondly, try to throw a jackhammer around any kind of wood. It just don't work. First thing the bait does is turn over, and that hook grabs the wood, right? And then you know what happens next. Mother WTF, wow, that's fun. That's what you say after you hang with a chatterbait, right? But the difference in the hook size on the Mini-Max, what I'm liking, I've always wanted a smaller chatterbait anyway. I've always trimmed my skirts and tried to make my profile a little bit smaller on the jackhammers. And I feel like this profile on the Mini-Max is exactly what I wanted anyway. The little bit shorter hook is gonna come through wood a little bit better. The smaller blade gives it a little tighter wobble. A chatterbait is really, really aggressive on the retrieve, but the Mini-Max is gonna have a lot tighter little wiggle. It's not nearly as aggressive. It feels more like a crankbait than it does the traditional chatterbait. Of course, you got all the same colors that you would normally have. And I actually started fishing this in a pond a few weeks ago and I loved it. So I brought it here to the river to try out. So chatterbait Mini-Max, You can actually get this guy on my website at shopbelat.com. You can see I got this guy paired up with just a goat. This is a green pumpkin goat trailer here. That's what I would recommend. I only throw, like, in my kit that I made for you guys, there's this color, which I think is called some type of brim or gill or something like that. A green, I got a black, and I got a white. And I give you the right trailers to go with each color in the kit. A green pumpkin, a black, and a white, or pearl, or something like that. So go check the link in the description box if you want to try out the new Chatterbait Mini Max. I think this is going to be the ticket this week. I'm going to fish it. I fished it this week in practice, and I felt like it's going to be a good week for the Chatterbait Mini Max. I'll be throwing it in the tournament. You probably heard it, everybody. Oh God. 2-pounder ain't never whipped me like that, bro. God, I never had a 2-pounder whip me like that one did. He whipped me left and right, didn't he? Oh my God.